Hi, my name's Erin Petty, and this is my water filtration lab. The question or problem for this lab was to design and build a water filter device that models how the earth filters water through the process of infiltration. So these were the materials that we were given and collected. This is the picture of my materials. I will admit I didn't use the ruler or the brown paper bag, so I'll be curious to see what those were used for in other videos. So my design thoughts originally were to layer materials from the smallest to the largest. So I started with the alum and sand on a coffee filter, and then I did charcoal on top of a cheesecloth and gravel with mesh on top of it. So here is pouring in the water to my first design. And I realized I put 4 tiny pinholes in it, and that was pretty tiny. So it took a while for the water to filter down, so I'll pause that there. At the end, so this was my first run of the water on the left, and it is much clearer than the water I started with. I was curious if I run it through a second time, if it's even clearer after being run through the first time. So I put more dirty water in, and really it was about the same, whether you run it through the first time or second time. I did one other design, and that was more of everything since we had more materials. So first I did charcoal with mesh, and then the sand and alum on a coffee filter, and gravel with cheesecloth. And I put a lot more gravel, a lot more charcoal, and honestly, it turned out just about the same. So where does this fall on the inquiry continuum? So I highlighted on this for the question. We were definitely given the question, it was provided. For this one, the learner definitely was directed to collect certain data. We were given a way to develop and evaluate the explanation. We really had freedom to design it. I could see 3 or 4 on here for formulating explanations. It definitely was learner guided in explaining why the water gets filtered. There was really nothing given to us by just doing this inquiry alone. Uh, I also put that the learner is given possible connections. That was more from the video and the lesson plan we were given. I would have never really made the certain connections of the different levels of the earth with the materials given. I got that more from the materials. So for this particular example, I think I was given the connections through what I read. But you certainly could guide students through questioning without giving that specifics. And then the last part I said the learner coached in development of communication. I definitely think that there was some guidance in our explanations just through the reading. I also pulled this figure, and I really think that this lesson falls between a 1 and a 2 on this level of inquiry. The problem was definitely provided to us, and the procedure was provided to a degree, especially for us. After watching the videos and reading through, I had a good idea of how to do the procedure. If I was just handed all those materials, I certainly would not have really known what to do. So that would be right here on level 2. I would have had to develop a procedure for investigating the problem if I hadn't watched the videos of other students creating the stackable filter. But either way, we decided what data to gather and interpreted the data. For sure, we were the ones interpreting that data. So all in all, I do think that this activity could fall on various levels of inquiry depending on how you approach it, how you question, and how you guide the instruction.